Dear aspirants, welcome to your channel. We are going to discuss a question today which was asked in this year mains paper GS1. So the question is, are we losing our local identity for global identity? Discuss. After having read the question seems pretty simple. Yes, of course, the question is pretty simple. But still there is a twist in the question. The twist is that the complexity in the question is that the question has combined many topics. I have already brought a video that what is the trend of art and culture question asked in UPSC. Link of that video will be given in the description box. You can check it out. And there I have told that what type of questions are trending in UPSC currently regarding art and culture. And this is such a question which is not only centered around one topic. It has encompassed various topics from the GS1 and all topics are conjugated and all topics are brought in the same question, brought in the one question. So if you ask me what are the possible topics that which has been put up in the question, that we can point out that Indian society, regionalism, globalization, and history. All these topics are amalgamated in the same question. So these topics are from the GS1. These topics are mentioned in GS1 paper. So all these topics, society, regionalism, globalization, as well as history, all these topics have been amalgamated in the question and have been put forward to you for solving. And to attempt this type of questions, you need a deep thought process, right? How much deep you can think, right? The success of such type of questions, the success of writing an answer of this type of question will be dependent on to what extent you can think, and as well as what is your analytical ability, how you can compare the things, how you can analyze the things happening surrounded by you, right? So deep thought process, analytical perspectives are very much necessary to attempt such type of question. And that is why I am always telling you that why UPSC exam is difficult for a school level exam. These questions are not a direct type of question, or neither you can write these questions from memorizing some data or fact, or nor you will find these questions directly in any book, right? These questions are based on practical basis where the examiner will examine that to what extent your eyes can go deep into the society, deep into the culture, or to what extent you can connect several things and analyze them, right? And so first, before attempting the answer, obviously the first attempt will be to understand the question, what the question is asking. I'm always telling you that one trick UPSC is always using is that the language of the question is difficult, but if you can decode the language of the question, after that the process is pretty simple. Here is are we losing our local identity for global identity, right? It is only the trick of the language. If the question had been asked in a different way, for example, that what are the impacts of globalization on modern people, or what are the impacts of globalization in India, or its advantages or disadvantages, then the question will be would have been difficult. But the answer that would be required for this question is pretty much similar to the same question, that what would be the impacts of globalization, more or less similar, right? More or less the answer is similar for both of the questions, but here the language of the question is a bit tricky, and that is why the way of asking the question is a bit different, and that is why your attempt and your answer will be also very bit difficult, because the way the question has been asked, the way that in the same way your answer have to be presented. So first we have to understand that what the question is asking. Are we losing our local identity for global identity? That means the question is asking that what are the impacts of globalization deep into the local elements? What are the local elements in India which have been replaced by the impacts of globalization? What are their consequences? What are the advantages or what are the disadvantages? This is the tone of the question. Right. So first we have to understand the question. Then we have to go to the key term. Right. Key term means what the question is asking. Right. What is the directive? Whether it is discussed, whether it is analyzed, etc. So before proceed to the approach to write the answer, I want to say that the model answer will be given in the description box. And here I want to say that the same question might be asked in a essay paper. Right. Here it is asked in GS1, but the same question can be formed in essay paper also. So while preparing the model answer, I have made it a bit lengthy so that it becomes easy for understanding. But when we write in the exam hall, or where you have to concise the language, or you have to avoid some unnecessary words. But here, for the understanding purposes, I have made the answer a bit long. Answer will be given in the description box. You can read the answer going to the description box. So first we have to think that are we losing our local identity for global identity? That means what are the threats posed by globalization to the local elements in India? And when we say local identity, first we have to define identity. That what do you mean by identity? Identity is what? Throughout which one person expresses himself, or on the background of which one person can be recognized. That is identity. But when we say local identity, what does local identity means? Well, when we say local identity, it encompasses a great variety of subjects. For example, food, clothes, rituals, language, entertainment, literature, family bonding, etc. These are only some examples. Besides this, there are a lot of areas which identity is concerned, right? But we cannot cover all the things in a simple answer, in a answer of 250 words. So we must have to skip some of the elements, but we have to pick up some major elements to prove our answer, so that examiner will get the prominent parts of the answer. So when we say food, that what the question is asking, that how our local identity has been threatened by the impacts of globalization. It is not directly said that the impacts of globalization. Global identity means what? That on the verge of being global, that on the verge of being a global citizen, but on the verge of being modernization. What are the local elements surrounded by you, which have been posed threat, which have been faced threat by the impacts of globalization or by the impacts of modernization. So food. What we can say, that I read the answer, I have written there that our age-old tradition of using earthen pot or iron pot have been replaced by non-stick cookware mostly at the current scenario. In that way, cloths. Our woolen cloths have been replaced by the leather cloths at current scenario. Rituals. Our most of our rituals are secular, derived from our glorious ancient past. Right, those secular rituals have been replaced by some kind of orthodoxy at present scenario. Orthodoxy has been pervaded in religious area. Right. In that language, our local language is on the verge of extinction. Many of the local scripts have been on the verge of extinction because of the aggression of English language, or because of the any kind of impacts of globalization. Entertainment. Our childhood days of Doordarshan have been replaced by Netflix. Here one thing is you keep in mind that I have used these words for understanding purposes only. You cannot write such kind of word like Netflix has reflects Doordarshan. You cannot put directly this kind of sentence in your answer, but you have to give it. You can write it in an indirect way. But here I am using for some understanding purposes, right? So our golden childhood days of Doordarshan are replaced by Netflix currently. Right, literature. In our childhood days, we used to read storybooks, comics, but currently they have these or that older version have been replaced by PDF or other online books. Right, family bonding. There was conjugated family, combined family, which have long history in India, but currently that kind of family bonding have been replaced by separated mentality, means individualistic. Now we have not found anywhere combined family, or we have found very less combined family. Families are getting divided. In this way, how we are losing our local identity on the verge of being global, on the verge of being modernization, we have to point out these things in our answer. I have put the model answer in the description box. Go to the description box, give your comment, valuable suggestions, and I will come again with another video. Till then, take care of your health, take care of your study, and bye bye.